Amidst the crackling flames, he added, and the Hojo clan, their commanders will tremble in fear. Fuma Kotaro's body radiated flames, roaring, Fuma Kotaro is the strongest. Within the immense flames, his voice echoed, within. The ninja, hearing this, bared his teeth, frowning at him. Fuma Kotaro slowly looked at his opponent. With an emotionless expression, he thought, Fuma Kotaro the difference between us isn't that great. Remembering when their two energy blasts collided. They both unleashed fire power to match their opponent. The fifth considered the destructive power of that flame. Irritated, he glanced at the smug smile of Fuma I. His heart was suddenly in turmoil. He was toying with him. He hadn't used his full power. Killing intent surged through his body. The flames that erupted mirrored the rage within the fifth. It suddenly enveloped his body and flared up. Fuma Kotaro V strategized. He was the creator of ninjutsu. Every jutsu he knew was a recreation of his techniques. He couldn't beat him now. The flames burned fiercely. His blazing red eyes fixed on Fuma Kotaro I, he declared resolutely, I must grow in this battle, or I will never win. The first silently observed this behavior. He unconsciously frowned, looking at him without the slightest patience. Immediately, his eyes widened, revealing a hint of bloodlust. With renewed vigor, Fuma I shouted a declaration of war, let's continue our battle, come on, fifth. The fifth, filled with hatred, muttered, Fuma, 12th, forbidden, jutsu. Shaka, scorching heat, Shigurui, death frenzy, he shouted, leaning in to attack. Immediately, Fuma Kotaro lunged forward, carrying a terrifying wave of fire energy. Recognizing the blinding light, Fuma I thought with amusement, Shigurui, death frenzy ninjutsu, and used the exact same technique. The 32nd world suffered a massive explosion. The released fire energy was blinding and incinerating. The stone floor was reduced to rubble. The surface of the stone was cracked into small, blackened pieces. It wasn't over, they continued to clash, creating successive air explosions and the piercing sound of metal. Fuma Kotaro used his hands to block the first's attack. Seeing that he still hadn't used his secret technique, the first irritably asked, Fifth, you must know your unique skill, why aren't you using the incantation? As long as you say the word death, the battle will be decided. Green eyes fixed on the fifth, hiding a hint of confusion. Fuma Kotaro heard that without any expression, quietly looked at him. After a moment, he replied, that's meaningless. The statement stunned the first. Remembering the dark days of the past, he thought to himself, freedom of emotion, I had nothing, the scene of blood, and more blood, returned. Fuma Kotaro gazed thoughtfully and continued, but things are different now. I am free, he said, his eyes towards the sky. Thinking of Hyrie Titania's smile, truly, I live like a human being. And above all, Fuma Kotaro is the name of the strongest ninja. By killing the first ninja, that name will truly be mine. Fuma Kotaro's eyes flashed with determination. He calmly replied, I must defeat you with ninjutsu, otherwise, it's meaningless. The first Fuma Kotaro was taken aback. He focused all his strength in his hand, loudly praising, good, very good, fifth. I will answer your determination with all my power, show me, the first challenged loudly. He glared at the fifth, unleashing his ultimate move, your death. He looked at him without hesitation, resolutely. His eyes sharpened, the first Fuma peered into his future and thought, yes. I can see the image of crimson blood flashing. He glanced at the first's mask, muttering to himself. You will, he looked into his fiery red eyes. Finally, he concluded, you will live a long time. Then, with determined eyes, he shouted at the fifth, ninjutsu. The fifth also fixed his gaze on his enemy. Raika, immediately, a terrifying light appeared. The terrifying power shattered his mask. It quickly reformed. The first noticed the strange detail and was stunned. The fifth remained unfazed, carefully observing the ninjutsu. The first Fuma was shocked. He immediately copied the ninjutsu. After a while, Kotaro looked up, sensing the change in power. The first thought in astonishment, he didn't just copy it, he made it stronger than my Raika. At this point, he smiled with satisfaction. The light blazed brighter, creating a massive explosion. It didn't stop there, the light moved across multiple areas. Both continuously unleashed techniques in the air, charging into the light that enveloped them. They clashed with electrical energy through their punches, ninjutsu, Raika, is one of the power sources of ninjutsu, focusing the electricity in the body to one point and releasing it. At that moment, the energy surged more violently than before, illuminating the entire area. The first Fuma muttered the name of another technique, ninjutsu. Ryan, immediately, the space was enveloped in electrical energy, the pressure was immense, the terrifying electricity was released, then gradually weakened. Stunned, he looked at the fifth, thinking, just as I saw. Your death is still far away. The first poured all his remaining strength into his final blow. His vision blurred, the final spark ignited, he thought, after mastering countless ninjutsu. Countless battles, blood stains the stone floor. Your death will come, blood splattered, staining the sky. Before being consumed by the light, the first Fuma muttered his final words, I am happy. The light of the electrical energy gradually faded. Amidst the smoke, blood was everywhere. The first's head lay there, his satisfied face seemed to silently praise his opponent. What a life-or-death battle, you are worthy of this name. A sudden memory flashed, he, too, once stood amidst a sea of blood, hearing someone ask, hey, what's your name? Then he turned back, his face expressionless said, my name has no name. Even he didn't know since when he was called Fuma Kotaro, at some point, people started calling him that. Though small, I possess incredible speed. A demon that appeared and disappeared like the wind, the childhood of Fuma Kotaro I was intertwined with blood. The strongest ninja. Returning to reality, he smiled faintly at the fifth, weakly saying, you are the one worthy of the name Fuma Kotaro. His emotionless gaze swept over him. His crimson pupils radiated a strange, magical aura. Pausing for a moment, Fuma I continued, thank you, because of you, I feel like I've truly been reborn. The fifth silently looked at him and replied, his voice tinged with gratitude, I've gained things I could never achieve, recognition from an opponent like you. And your ninjutsu, the image of that technique flashed in his mind. Then, Kotaro looked up at the sky and declared resolutely, I will become even stronger. For the things I want to protect, his eyes flashed with determination. Hearing that, the first involuntarily smiled faintly, weakly replying, protection, it must be wonderful. He silently marveled, such a ninja isn't bad, huh? Here, Fuma Kotaro I took his last breath and closed his eyes, surrendering to death. The sky returned to its clear blue. At that moment, at the world tree, one of its branches trembled. The fifth world atop the branch began to crack, and shattered into 100 pieces. The falling fragments signified the end of a reincarnation. But it wasn't over. The sixth world suddenly erupted in flames, the fire rising and spreading across the area. Submerging everything in a sea of fire, cries for help echoed incessantly, AAA, help. A shadowy figure at the heart of the fire laughed gleefully, haha, if the victor is the one who sheds the most blood, perhaps I can even kill into neighboring worlds. He looked at the raging fire before him. His malice was evident, perhaps I can kill into neighboring worlds, excellent, the blood is flowing. Glancing at the parched earth consumed by fire, he thought with satisfaction, indeed, they are humans. Our reincarnation is drawing near. After returning to the 32nd world, the sky had fallen dark. Kotaro slowly walked towards the large branch. His expression remained unchanged. Fuma V pondered, killing was once my way of life, a deadly glint shone in his eyes. I never thought. And so, Kotaro continued towards the fortress, a day like this would come. In the silent snow, a sudden light flashed in the sky. It landed on the stone floor with lightning speed. A stranger suddenly appeared before Kotaro, his hair enveloped in light. His entire body almost glowed. He spoke with arrogant laughter, Cuckoo, you are my next opponent. Kotaro silently stood there and looked at him. After a moment, he spoke, his voice a warning, I have no interest in you, for your own sake, it's best not to harbor killing intent. Hearing this, he didn't care, and retorted with glaring eyes, what did you say? Suddenly Kotaro grabbed the other's face to his horror. He just stared at him. Instantly, Kotaro mercilessly smashed the man's head against the stone floor, the terrifying chi shattering the stone. His blood spurted out, staining Kotaro's arm crimson. He then roared the name of the technique, ninjutsu. Ninjutsu, one of the origins of ninjutsu, using vibrations and crushing pressure to make the opponent's head explode like fireworks. Kotaro's face showed no mercy as he said, I am Fuma Kotaro, remember that name when you go to your grave.